Onwriting with Onkarabile, a show that aims to promote reading and writing in the communities. We seek to restore pride and dignity of Africans through the power of reading and writing. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Onkarabile Mokoto and I am your host. Please don't forget to subscribe, to share online as we are starting our conversations with one of our esteemed guests, the Queen, the Empower, who is actually a cast coordinator and has experience when it comes to financial sector. Queen, thank you so much for coming to our show.
It is a pleasure and it is such an honor to be in this space. As I mentioned earlier on, walking in this space, it just felt like home. There's such a beautiful aura to be in the studio. So I look forward, Nje, to the interview.
You are welcome. You are welcome. Queen, let's talk about this concept, I saw you having workshops and you invite people to come and learn about what is called artpreneur, and we are used to a term entrepreneur, not really artpreneur. Well, these days I once saw another one called knowledgepreneur, but this one artpreneur. Let's talk about that.
Well, maybe let me start by introducing myself formally to your guest, your prestigious guest that are watching at home. My name is Queen and I go by the name Queen the Empower on all social media platforms. And I have a background as a cast coordinator, having worked for various agencies where I book artists who are still beginning in this journey of film industry. So this would be your background artist, this would be your featured artist, and I've worked with just various productions, the likes of your Skim Sam, your Mzansi Bioscope, your Showmax, your Netflix, you name them, so there's a variety. So I've got that experience for over 4 years. That's what I've been doing, booking these artists. Then I have corporate experience where I've been a financial advisor for over 3 years in different companies, and I worked as a debt counselor for almost 2 years as well. So that's 5 years experience in the corporate. And then apart from that, I've done things like administration and lots of work, of corporate work, right? And I love this show because you speak about literature and imparting knowledge, especially to the people of the townships that we come from. And that's how the concept of coming up with workshops for me started about, because I was like, if I'm going to get all this crazy knowledge, obviously I might not make it per se to the standard that I want to be, but can I just raise that Kasi girl, that Kasi boy, to pass on the baton, to say, I've run my race up to here. And the best way to do that is just through passing on knowledge to the next person.
Exactly. So why did you choose this one, the artpreneur? Tell me about your choice of the concept.
Thank you again for the question. So the workshops are designed from a wellness point of view. We are a tripart being as human beings, right? So we've got the soul, we've got the spirit, and we've got the body. So when I got into the industry was very vile for me. I felt like I was thrown in a deep end where there were sharks. And lucky for me, I managed to swim, but it's not the case for everybody. And that's why you find there were shows like Bobakai.
Yes,
people are really cool. People are ridiculed rather as to what happened to this one. What are they called? One hit wonders and all of that. And the truth of the matter is, you get into this industry and there's so many things that happen. There's culture shock, there's financial problems that we are going to discuss later on, I believe, on the show. So when I got into the industry and I was doing the bookings, there came a strong passion for me to say, how do I make this industry easy for other people so that they don't go through what I went through? And like I said earlier on, the best way to impart knowledge is through teaching people. And teaching from experience is one of the best ways to teach people. So the workshops are broken down into different concepts. So for instance, earlier on, we had a goal setting hike. We had a mental health webinar because here it gets crazy here. With the rejections, with the proposal that we spoke about that you sent 3 years ago and there's still no call back. And with the knocking on the doors and you getting these egos and you tell your family members telling you you're not going to make it and all of that, it gets crazy. So we've had like your mental webinars. We've also had like your branding workshop, because as an artist, you need to be a brand and you need to stand out. You need your Onkarabile to call you and say, hey, I see you doing workshops.
Yeah.
There's a certain brand that you need to send out, even in the entertainment industry. And the one that I just hosted now in Senton, the Artpreneurship Financial Literacy Program, their workshop specifically was very close to my heart, because like I said, when I got into the industry, I realized how vile it is in terms of there's so much pressure. And with all this pressure, the finances are not financing. And that's the truth. The truth that most people don't want to hear. You know. But also, there is the word artpreneurship. I feel like I created that. I made that trend.
Oh, nice. That's
I feel like I made that trend, because I literally thought to myself, I've been an entrepreneur, a social entrepreneur. Maybe I did not mention that into my intro, but you know, with intros, you never stop.
Yes, exactly.
So I thought, there's artists, and when I picked up an artist, and I come from a background of entrepreneurship, I thought to myself, there's so many similarities, because with an artist, you must send your work to the agents, you must on radio knock on doors, you must, but also in business, you send proposals to companies, and so there were so many similarities. Just that this side you're a businessman or you're an entrepreneur, and this side you're an artist. And I was like, actually, the most successful people in this industry is the people who understand the showbiz, that understand that it's a show, I'm an artist, but also it's a business, I'm an entrepreneur,
exactly.
an artpreneur. And that's why I customized a workshop for 3 days that was strictly dealing with that, to help people understand that yes, you might have the talent, yes, you might be eloquent in English, yes, you might be pretty, yes, you might sing beautifully, or whatever the case is, but it's not the talent only that's going to sustain you in this entertainment industry. You need to be financially literate.
How do you, Osqueenie, as an artist, you know, become an entrepreneur? Like, please help us there, because I mean, now I'm only focusing on my talent. I want to see myself on TV. You know, people see me and calling me, "Hey, Onkarabile, we saw you. Hey, you're a celebrity." But then, how do I convert this into business?
You know, it's quite an interesting topic, because I think most artists are naturally talented from a young age. So it's more of a nature than a nurture type of situation. So we grow up being attention seekers, or rather getting the attention even without seeking it, because naturally you can sing. Naturally you are a drummer, you play piano, or you speak well, so you do public speaking or your dramas at school. Because most artists start from a young age, right? But by definition, the word entrepreneur means an entrepreneur is somebody who identifies an opportunity and is able to monetize it through rendering a service that people need. So the only thing with artists is that they need to realize, and I say this everywhere as a facilitator, because I'm also an arts facilitator, and I say, as an artist, you don't say, I'm a businessman. You say, I'm a businessman. Do you get it? You are the business.
Oh, you are the business.
I'm a business man.
Okay.
Do you get what I'm saying? So you must understand that Queen, as she's sitting here, she's rendering a service. People like to have deep conversations with Queen. Why is it that every time people want to demystify things about the industry, or people just want to get advice, they're always calling Queen? Then it says there's the service that Queen can render. And what does Queen do? She runs workshops and she charges.
Yes, exactly. Osqueenie, okay, now you said something very interesting, which is very true, which is a fact. We have seen it on the news. That in this industry, finance are not financing. You know, please, what did you learn? What did you identify? The mistakes maybe that you know, the loopholes that you saw.
I will not
Of course. We need to finance this artist so that they can be financing, you know.
So I also mentioned that with the introduction, I'll keep introducing myself every now and again, you know, because I wear so many caps as a human being generally. But that question, you are basically asking me about the monetizing of artists, right?
Yes.
And for me, we need to identify firstly, what are the systems that are making artists not monetize their art? Because we are so quick to saying artists are lazy, or people don't read, or people don't network, and sometimes we spoke about this earlier. Sometimes you're doing all the right things, so it's a matter of what is blocking me. And as soon as you understand the history of this country in South Africa, where we come from as a country, from the apartheid system, where even art was a sector where it was not even considered to be a career. So now 30 years into democracy, we've shifted, and these people are into power, and now they are still trying to find a way of how to go about monetizing, or rather making this a career. So these people are still testing. It's test and trial. So if you're an artist right now, just know that you're a guinea pig in South Africa. They're actually putting a test with you to say, is this really a career? Is it viable? Is it working? And to be true, to tell the truth rather, we've proven beyond measure that actually art is a career. I mean, COVID was one of the reasons. I mean, was one of the places where we saw that actually art saved the country, because now television, everybody was watching, radio, everybody was listening, entertainers were booked the same way doctors and paramedics were booked, and people actually realized that actually this is a career and we need to take it seriously. So just to answer you, there are systems that have caused art to depreciate, and it is the history of the country. It is the current government that is governing, which is still on trial and test where art is concerned. But also, we cannot always point fingers at other people. The very same thing that I spoke about earlier on, that seek knowledge, put yourself out there, network with the right people. If it means that you go to church for empowerment, if it means you go attend empowerment seminars, you attend workshops, you educate yourself. These days we've got, the podcast is online. Hey now.
Exactly.
If you're like, nah, I get just sit in the comfort of your home and invest in your craft through just, listening to shows like these ones, where we are discussing things that are to your benefit, things that are going to make you a better artist. Because sometimes it's nice to learn through experience, but it's even better to learn through somebody else's experience.
Exactly. Yes.
You don't have to go through the journey of Queen going through being thrown in the deep end with sharks. Listen to Queen of how did she swim. Don't go swim with the sharks.
Exactly.
Take the shorter route.
Yes.
Listen to people who have progressed in the industry and have done so exceptionally well and let those people be your archetypes and follow their footsteps and listen to their advice, but do not forget to listen to your own intuition while you edit.
That's mouthful. I want to know about the exploitation. You spoke about the systems, that are blocking artists, not be able to monetize their talents. Now, do you think exploitation is one of them? Because, we have seen it some years back when artists were protesting and they even left a certain production, which I don't want to name it. They left because they said they were exploited. Do you think it's one of the factor?
It is. We cannot shy away from that truth. In as much as we said people need to invest in themselves, but like I said, there are systems that also block people, and we need to address the systems that are blocking the people, and exploitation is one of them. And the reason why artists will remain exploited is because the industry is not regulated.
Yeah.
There are no laws that are protecting artists. I'm not even talking about background artists. I'm talking about thespians.
Exactly.
I'm talking about people who've been doing this from 10 years ago, 20 years ago. But once they lose a certain gig, then it's done with them. We don't have things like minimum wage in the entertainment industry. We have artists that still get paid 150 because they are background artists. And this person is from Soweto and is going to shoot in Pretoria. What are they going to do with 150? And we don't have the government protecting them. We don't have any regulation that says that is pure exploitation. And that's why I'm saying at some point, we need to realize that human can only do so far. But as human beings, we live in a world that has principles, that has orders, that has systems that we need to follow. And if these systems are failing us, then at the end of the day, we'll find the most talented people, the most purest talent, and I believe South Africa is one of the best talents in the entire world. But those talents are just in the streets. Batu are doing nyaupe. Women are getting pregnant and getting kids non-stop. And when you are in that queue, ya granty, somebody is hitting the biggest note vocally because they are that talented, but there were no systems to protect those people.
Queen, let's pause it there. We take a short break. When we come back, we continue. Ladies and gentlemen, we will be back shortly. Welcome back to Onwriting with Onkarabile, a show that aims to promote reading and writing in the communities. We are still having our queen, the empower in the house, the energy in the house. Queen, you have identified two types of people when you get into industry. Those ones who are just working, looking for a job, and those ones who are able to make money out of their art. Please share a little bit about these two types of groups that you have identified when you enter into industry.
Onkarabile, here, working as a cast coordinator, the universe has a funny way of just putting you in places where I never thought in the world I'd be a cast coordinator. And by cast coordinator, for those who don't know what a cast coordinator is that I've been working with agencies. So I do bookings for artists who want to go to set, like I mentioned, as featured artist or as background artist, or even as a main character. There's a chance. There are some movies where they're like, actually, do you think you can provide us with a lead? And, we scout through our database and we actually find that there is talent. And what I discovered there is one, people don't take art seriously. There is a majority of people who think you as a radio host, you just wake up and you just call Queen to come over. They don't understand that there's measures and processes that you need to put in place. There's a level of research that you need to do. The tone in which you speak as a radio host matters. The cameras for a podcast, they count. So there's work that goes into play. The time in which you wake up, the amount of time you spend shooting, because every minute counts.
Exactly.
So people are not aware of that. So there's a lot of I don't know what to call it, complacency or ignorance rather, or lack of knowledge or research also. And this is why I do workshops, that if you have not been exposed to the entertainment industry, my advice would be kindly invest in getting the knowledge about the industry before you jump into it first, to prepare yourself. Because what we get there, for instance, like I mentioned, I'm from the film background. You find people sending us pictures, and this person says they want to be a lead character on an upcoming movie. Like, I'm telling you, true story. I'm not.
Yeah.
You find people that send you hi, hey, winking at you, sending. WhatsApp also has become a form of communication.
Yes, definitely.
Sending you heart emojis, and you are talking to a potential employer.
Yeah.
And I even say to people, even the people that know me, one of the things that I don't like about me, it's a strength and a weakness, is that I'm very impartial. So just because I was sitting on radio with you, it doesn't mean when the film comes through and I'm supposed to submit it to a director, then you're going to talk to me and send me a wink. You are going to follow the protocol.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because now when I drink tea with the director and we're talking about soccer or about the birds in the sky, when they say now it's time for work, I shift and I respect that authority, because
yes.
And when they say please send me professional pictures, I send professional pictures. When they send me the call sheet, the time, I arrive on time. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then people take those things for granted and they think you are being dramatic, or they think you are just wabakwalla, and there's no such thing. There's the people who think they are talented. They think they are talented. And to be quite, I was one of those people. When I got into the industry, I was very big-headed. Plus, I'm from a corporate background. So
Yeah.
I can write it, I can speak
Exactly.
it, I know my rights, because in the corporate industry, there's HR, there's this, there's written warning, there's
Yes.
what. But
Yeah.
hello, this is art. And there's nothing like that. And you will come with your talent. And if you are not prepared to learn what this industry is about and how to survive in it, you will never make it. And then there's these type of people that I spoke about who understand that this is a showbiz. And the minute you understand this is a showbiz, your manner of approach changes completely. Because one of the things that you do is what I've been saying. You learn, you research, right? And through learning and researching, you compromise sometimes. Yes, you set boundaries, but there are things that you need to compromise because you're still at elementary level. It doesn't matter how much of talent you carry. Wherever you go in life, there needs to be a time where you recognize that I might as well maybe start from the bottom so that I can go to the top. And maybe for some, they are lucky to start maybe internationally, which it's a rare case, you know. But if you hear the stories of the people that are successful in the industry, there's always a story behind. Others will tell you I started as a background artist. Others will tell you I was an AD, I was a runner, I was running. But most of them will tell you I exposed myself enough in the industry. I went to school for it. I studied it. I practiced. You know, I took professional pictures. I did videos. I put so much effort in making sure that I invest in my craft so that one day it becomes a return on investment. And that's the financial advisor speaking right now.
I think I'm remembering now earlier what you said on talk about branding. Why do you explain this? I'm thinking in my mind comes branding, and you spoke about earlier. Now let's talk about, you know, apart from the system, there are artists who were fortunate or who got that opportunity to excel when it comes to the industry, and they made money, you know. But later on, like you said, then we have a show called Bakai. Those people are nowhere to be found. In the news, in social media, we see people, hey, this so-and-so is broke, it doesn't have a place to stay, now please let's donate for this certain person, another person has passed away, there's no money to bury the person, we have to donate, you know. Do you think somehow, as artists, we don't invest in ourselves when it comes to financial literacy? Apart from the system that will block us. Let's say now, I'm fortunate now to excel in the industry. I get money. But now, how do I use money? Do you think it's also a problem?
You know, because I mentioned that I'm a humanitarian artist and I understand civic society very well. And I'm an artist myself. And I've been at it. And I've been auditioning. And I've been rejected. And I've ran out of cash. I am not very quick into judging people who go broke in the industry, because even with my financial advisor's background, award-winning financial advisor that is, I still have financial challenges because finances are a different ball game altogether. Because, like we said, the industry is not regulated. People are not getting enough in the industry. Apart from not getting enough, how many jobs are you booking in the industry? Because the truth of, if I'm shooting a Netflix film and it's about, let's just say, 9 weeks, and then what happens after 9 weeks? And I'm supposed to survive with a 9-week salary for the entire year. And that's why I said artpreneur. You must be an artpreneur. So that you know while you're filming, you're probably selling something on the side. Or we probably one day get to a state in a country where even when you're shooting for 3 months, indeed you are able to survive a year. But the truth of the matter is that we are not there yet. And that's why when we are not there yet, it is our responsibility to find other opportunities in the industry that could bring us an income. In the artpreneurship, one of the things that I usually speak about in my workshops is, for instance, you've got cameras here. You go to audition for a film and they say, we found the character. We thought this so-and-so would be better because they are darker maybe in complexion and that character needed somebody who's darker. And you're like, oh, okay, this is the same Onkarabile. Hi. And then, Onkarabile, what's going on now? Actually, do you know that I have studio equipment? It's like, oh, okay. yeah, I hire cameras. I hire cameras. No, Onkarabile, we actually have hired, but maybe on our next gig we'll consider you. And immediately when they say that, you say, oh, you have a next gig. When is it? You write it down and say, probably I'll contact them. But guess what? Onkarabile speaks vernacular beautifully so. And then you go back. I trust me as a director.
Yeah.
What's going on now? You're like, actually, I was thinking I could be your script translator because I recognize that your script you are shooting in township-based location, and so there'll be a lot of vernac. One of the services that I render is that I did Setswana or I did Sepedi ko skolong. So if you need a script translator, I'm here, and this is how much I charge. Are you not working?
You are.
Yeah, working. On set, we eat all the time. Who are the caterers?
Exactly.
Some of the people who are background artists or featured artists are some of the best cook. You can offer your services and you start small. I always tell people you don't have to start gigantic. Your services could be, I offer baked cookies on set. Because there's tea time. Because on set we start shooting from 6 to 6. From 6 a.m. is breakfast. 10 a.m. it's tea time. What's happening during tea time? Then Queens brings her baked scones on set. She's the very same artist. She's them in the midst. She's in the vicinity of the entertainment industry. But this face people keep seeing, because one thing I like about myself as a brand right now is that I seldom go to set and people don't know me. And I'm that girl who's been queuing. And believe you me when I say you guys are gonna see me on TV very soon.
Yeah.
Because it's almost impossible not to work with people, because the industry is also about who you know, but moreover it's about who knows you. And with appearing more than once in these set environments, you build a trust relationship with people, because people, like I said, we are a tripart being, and the element of soul requires trust, because before we hire you, we know there are people abashayila lavuga. So when it's weekend, we know her,
Exactly. Yeah.
And then Monday when you come to work, your phone is off and we are shooting an important scene and we've cast you as lead and we cannot afford getting another lead. Do you get what I'm saying? But if you've seen me several times. You've seen me at 6 a.m. You've even seen me on a night shoot. This person understands the industry. They're not going to let me down. And they have the talent. I might as well give them a try. It's that knocking on doors. You knock on doors in various ways. Just showing up into places, especially in the industry that you love, is a form of actually marketing yourself. But it's also very important where we're talking branding is concerned, because the next thing you don't want to be known as Usiswa Makeke. You are still an artist and you want to be respected as an actress.
Exactly.
So you must balance your branding as to how do you go about it. If it means Guti, you are the one that says ngithengisa makeke, but then you bring umama wasestratini or usisi wasekhoneni to be the one that facilitates that program, but they know when they want a makeke, they call you. Or maybe just this one time for fun's sake, for marketing purposes, you're the one that is offering and rendering the services because you want to leave that mark. But you must also be very careful where your branding is concerned.
Let's talk about, financial literacy when it comes to especially background artists. I mean, you spoke something very important, which is a fact of saying, I live in Pretoria.
And then the shoot is in Soweto.
Yes, the shoot is in Soweto. How much do I spend from Pretoria to Joburg to Soweto? Almost 150 for transport. What do we say about when it comes to financial literacy as a financial advisor? What do you say to me?
It still goes back to the point of research. But I wanted to say something, but directors, please hire me. I'm a nice person, guys, but I just like talking the truth. Ne? Can we just stop exploiting background artists? Can we just literally stop exploiting background artists? Background artists, they use ntate onaling 55, onaling 65, ntate wale lapa, and then they're going to give that man 150. No, guys. That is uncalled for. To be quite honest, just from a human point, before we even get to being a financial advisor or to become an artist or anything, there are just things that are just inhumane, But also for the younger ones, and not even the younger ones, because being young is a matter of soul. I'm very young. It's a matter of soul. Whenever you are starting into any industry, there's a level of compromise that is needed. Hence your book. hence your book. Don't quit your job just yet. You can try to find ways of funding this artistry journey, because like I said, I compare it to a business. If you speak to entrepreneurs, they will tell you business always needs capital, and arts also needs capital. So if you're still working wherever as a waitress, which is a nice job, actually I'm thinking about it as I'm speaking now, the jobs that give you an opportunity to still go shoot are one of the best ones, where like you're not working every day. Maybe they call you twice a week or 3 times a week. Those are some of the best jobs to be doing, because then you still get a stable income, but you still get to do what you love. So you must, the compromising part and understanding that when you are still starting out, you cannot come with demands, and also take into cognizance the industry is very, very much congested.
Let's pause it there again. When we come back, then we are wrapping up this conversation. And I see that there's more info, but unfortunately, time is not on our side. We will be back shortly. Stay tuned.
The Creative Corner with Nolu Knowles, a cozy and inspiring show that features interviews with artists, showcases their work, challenges, and successes. Every Tuesday at 2 p.m. only on Share Radio. Tune in live on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. This is Share Radio.
Welcome back to Onwriting with Onkarabile, a show that aims to promote reading and writing in the communities. And as I told you, we are still having Queen, the Empower, which has been elevated to powerhouse. House Queen. House Queen, just a little. Before break, we spoke about exploitation of background artists. And you pleaded with directors or whatever productions, not to exploit background artists.
And to hire me, because when you tell the truth, they're like,
a good person, yes.
This one. Yeah, no.
But now, do you think somehow, background artist has also have power to stop the exploitation? Do you think so?
Definitely, man.
How so?
Definitely. One of the things that starts with is, and people would know this, I'm a facilitator, like I mentioned, in the arts sector. I start by saying, even as agents, this thing of just booking people who are just sitting in the roads, who are not true artists, that's where the problem starts. We need a vetting process as to who comes into the industry. Because now when we get true artists, people who are passionate about this, people who are talented, people who are willing to learn, whether it's the business of the art or it's about mental health or about anything, or they just want to contribute positively into the industry, then it's easier to have conversations that are sensible, that brings resolutions. Because then you just find people who are bored. I always make an example that, when it comes to us, when we are shooting a film, you can call your uncle that's a doctor or your sister that's a lawyer to come, but you'll never be invited at court, because they take court seriously.
Exactly.
Because they take surgery seriously. Because engineers respect their work. Because farmers, they know that this is not a playground. We are working here. But when it comes to the entertainment industry, it's like it's a water party. Hence I'm saying the industry is congested. We must start with the vetting process as to who comes into the industry as an artist, and further on, who comes into the industry as an agent, because we also have a lot of mushroom agents and bogus agents. We also have a problem of workshops where people are promoting workshops, but they're exploiting, because exploitation does not only come from, agents paying low rates and production houses. There are people who are now, I appeared on TV just once, and now I'm making money out of people. People fill up a hall. Ntangdi 200. People come here, I talk about myself the entire day, and people go back home. People learned absolutely nothing, and I've made money out of those people. So that's part of exploitation.
So how do we stop it as a background artist like myself? Which steps can I take to say enough is enough?
The sad thing is that the background artists are not a united forum right now, but we have the SEBEC right now that is happening. It's a union that has started to protect the background artist, that I would just say people can join such organization as long they are to their benefit. But the truth of the matter is we are still at a point where it's each to its own. So it's very important that you understand yourself. You know your worth. And when you see that 150 rate and you know what it's not going to invest right back to you. Because earlier on I mentioned there are compromises that you make. There are things that you are going to do in the industry that might require you to render your services for free. But as long as there's going to be a return on investment, you know the person I'm working with, once they get a bigger deal, they will plug me. But understand yourself, understand the worth, understand what you are willing to compromise for and what you're not willing to compromise for. So it starts with us individuals standing our ground and saying, nah, I'm not going to take 100 rands. I'm not going to take 150, you know. And then later on, it's joining these units now, you know, where I always say this to, even in my workshops, to say, but, you know, you also, artists have a tendency of behaving like children when they come into the industry, to say, but you still have a brain. Why are you working with an agent that's not paying you?
Exactly.
3 times. Like, so that's one of a way of boycotting this nonsense that is taking on, you know. And once we become united, we get to a point where we name and shame these agents, these production houses that are exploiting people. But that would have to take a unit form. Like, you need to be united when you do that, because if you're going to do it like as an individual, I've been joking around and say, hi guys, please book me, because I know once you sound like you're an activist, you are vocal and you're speaking the truth. We live in a sad society where people are intimidated by intelligent people. They find you problematic because you are addressing issues, and then they even forget that, no, this is a talented person who can still deliver, you know.
Queen, you know, we are left with 3 minutes before we actually finish our show. Tell me about the kind of people that you invite during your workshops, and how did you partner with such people?
Okay. So my workshops, like I said, that they are designed in a manner that I'm a social entrepreneur. I have the best interest at heart for the people. And to be quite honest, I feel like I'm compromising where my workshops are concerned, where I'm looking at the prices and the things that I include in my workshops. Because one, I charge 280 and the workshops are done for 3 days. The first 2 days we do them online, because some of these topics, you keep saying time where the show is concerned, right? So some of these topics that we are discussing, we cannot discuss finances in 1 hour and just finish. So in 3 days, we are discussing online 2 days. Usually it's in the evening because people are then back from set. Then we start the introduction. What is financial literacy? What is entrepreneurship? What does it mean to me? We break it down. We do the intros. How do you introduce yourself as a brand? Then day 2, what opportunities can I identify? With the past financial literacy workshop that I held, we were tackling the issue of the financial traumas, your relationship with money and things like that, because there's so much that goes on where money is concerned. And on the 3rd day, when we're now going into the gist, or rather concluding around the finances, then we bring your speakers, and I had a prestigious guest, Nondalana, who's been a corporate executive in the financial industry. Like, she's that girl you want to be when you grow up. You know, when you grow up, like, I want to be that. So those are the people that we bring in the workshops. We bring people that are going to bring expertise, you know, which are going to take us from one step on to the next level. But my invite in terms of people to come to the workshop, they are background artists, they are featured artists, they are people who want to grow their brands, the people who want to network, people who want to grow in the industries. Those are the people that are welcome. But if you feel like you've made it, I don't think, because I'm not about nursing people's egos. I stay with your 280, and then Runa will eat, because we eat during these workshops. We have nice meals and we take photos there and we network, and we have created it to be a support structure, to become a safe space, because sometimes we share vulnerable things with each other. So that's why I'm saying, if you're going to come with egos, trust me, media queens, please, you are not welcomed.
Let's talk about your end function, the function that is coming.
Yeah.
And then if people want to get hold of you, they want maybe to, you know, to come to the event and the next year's events at Premier Financial Literacy. I love the concept. You know, I really love the concept.
Hey, but you like the one with man. Like I mentioned the branding, you never said anything about branding.
No,
I mentioned mental health, and you side-eyed me.
I love this one. You know why I love this one? Because
it's the closest to our hearts.
We have agreed, yes, me and you have agreed that a lot of artists are struggling when it comes to finances. You know? So we want to actually at least help such upcoming artists to say, guys, please, when you come to this industry, it's not only about that you are talented, but there is a business aspect of this. So consider that thing, you know. And I think we won't have a problem of having artists who are broke and stuff like that. So that is why I love the concept.
And Shem, I know I've been making you feel guilty about you mentioning the entrepreneurship, financial literacy, but to be honest, I've been saying this to everyone, to say out of all the workshops that I've held, and even as an arts facilitator, this was my most favorite.
Exactly.
And because, like I said, I'm a tripartite being, I even took them to Sentin deliberately. Because for me, the program is also designed that you manifest what you want to become. And sometimes you need to be exposed into this environment. We cannot talk about finances. I
like that.
You know, so I literally took them to Sentin to say, experience this world. And one of the greatest testimonies I've gotten, and people are like, oh, Queen, when I walked in here, I felt like a millionaire. I'm like, because you are one.
Exactly.
And you're in the process of becoming one. That's the whole point. You know, so it was my favorite. But even the others, they matter because, like I'm saying, we need a balance.
Yes, no,
mental health is just as important.
Yes.
Goal setting is just as important, you know, and all the other ones that I've mentioned. But to mention the one, because we want to end on a high note, the year-end function that is coming. The year-end function is, like I say, every sector. I mean, everybody has your year function, closing party, but artists, because we are entrepreneurs, so most of the times we are solo. We don't have spaces or places where we actually go celebrate our small or big wings, or just to network with our colleagues, because we are colleagues. The radio personnel, the writer of the book, the filmmaker, the producer. Let's be in a space where we are chilled, and just unwind for a bit, because we've been working throughout. And for people who don't know, Runa, we work 12 hours, if not 16, because if we calculate even the time that we wake up or drive to set or whatever, then you realize that we work more than the ordinary time. And Kamo, we are cramming the script, it's the makeup, it's this and this and that. So let's just go, man, and have fun and unwind. But because I'm Queen the Empowerer and I keep my standard, it's still 3 days. The first day we are discussing social media, because it's one of the things that we need to boost when you get into the industry. So we have somebody who's going to be facilitating on social media on how to use it to our benefit. I'm part of the people who are learning, because I'm not too great on social media. I'm good, but I'm not great, you know. And then the second one is a bit naughty, because we're bringing guys in. Remember that these workshops are crafted for females and the queer society only. So we're going to be discussing Mjolo, the dating in the industry, because we know it goes down. And these topics, we need to handle them. Like, it's time we pull the bull by the horns. We cannot always be beating around the bush. There are things that we need to discuss. Okay, maybe singachola because batala, but let's have boundaries. Queen, you can't date Onkarabile and date Sepo and date Tumelo and date like, do you get what I'm saying? The brand thing that I was talking about, it then becomes a problem. And then on the last day,
we come together.
We are coming Soweto. 280, you go online for the social media, you go online for the Mjola session, you come and you get food and you take pictures and you enjoy your networking session.
Where can they get you now for more information?
I am very generous with my numbers.
Okay.
Although I'm very strict with them, but I'm very generous with my numbers, because if you're going to send me a hi, trust me, I'm not going to respond to you. I like professional people.
Yes, definitely.
So they can get me on 072 187 8965, and I will repeat it because I want people to take their pens and papers and grab their phones. And if usa Kenya pattern, the reason I'm speaking now, I'm just giving you time.
Exactly, yes.
Yeah, and if pattern how you complex, I'm gonna say them one last time. You can WhatsApp me on 072 1878965. Preferably, please don't call me. Send me a text and let's converse about maybe you getting to the industry or you coming into the workshop. But also, I'm very, very active on Facebook. And on Facebook, I am Queen the Empowerer. And woo, my Instagram is struggling, but I'm also Queen _the_empowerer. And that's why I look forward to the session on the 5th of December where we'll be discussing social media, because probably next year my social media is going to be verified.
Queen, let's put a full stop, not a pause now. Let's put a full stop. I wish we could continue.
I wish so too.
Time is not on our side. Probably we can arrange, next time for you to come back, and we'll see how to get this more knowledge from you, because really time is just limited for such, rich knowledge from you. But we'll see what to do. So for now, let's just say thank you so much for coming to the show.
Thank you for having me. You're such a wonderful host.
Oh, thank you.
You're such a wonderful. It's like people don't know. It's our first time meeting.
That as a compliment.
It's our first time meeting,
of course,
and it's not like we call each other and check on each other. But look at how the conversation flowed.
No, thank you so much.
Because of your professionalism.
You're very, great guest. So
you are wonderful. Thank you so
much
for inviting me and for having me.
You're welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of our show. That was Onwriting with Onkarabile, a show that aims to promote reading and writing in the communities. Do not forget to subscribe and share this inspirational interview. See you next time.